Listen, I know every baker on YouTube says they have the ultimate chocolate chip cookie recipe, but trust me, these really are something special. I've experimented with dozens of recipes and techniques to develop this recipe, and along the way, I've discovered a few techniques and secret ingredients that take these chocolate chip cookies to the next level. They're soft and chewy with a really complex depth of flavor that make these cookies truly unique and addictive. As always, the recipe is in the description box below, so let's get started. In my opinion, all the best chocolate chip cookie recipes start with browned butter, which is super easy to make and will add a ton of extra flavor to your cookies. Just put the butter in a shallow pan and keep whisking until it turns a nice deep brown like this. Use a light colored or stainless steel pan if you have one. It makes it a lot easier to see when the butter is done. While the butter is still nice and hot, add the granulated and brown sugars and glucose, our first secret ingredient and the key to making these cookies delectably chewy. You could use maple syrup or honey instead, which are usually easier to find and also do the trick. Give it a quick whisk to start dissolving the sugar and cool the butter down a bit before adding a large room temperature egg. Whisk until completely smooth before adding a splash of vanilla and our next secret ingredient, some liquid smoke. I know it sounds weird, but trust me, it's amazing and a real boss move. A little goes a long way, just a half teaspoon will do the trick. The next secret ingredient is some powdered milk, which will add a nice depth of flavor and also add some chew. Next, add some salt, baking powder, and baking soda, followed by the final secret ingredient, coffee, which really enhances the flavor of chocolate and you don't really taste the coffee in the end. You can use either finely ground coffee, espresso powder, instant coffee, or coffee extract, whatever you have on hand. Add the flour and fold it in with a rubber spatula until combined. Okay, let's talk chocolate. Really, you can use whatever chocolate or chocolate chips you like or just happen to have on hand, but in my opinion, a half and half combo of milk and semi-sweet chocolate chunks makes the best cookies. Let me know what kind of chocolate you like using the most in your chocolate chip cookies in the comments. Whatever you do use, toss it in and fold it through the dough until evenly distributed. This dough is extremely soft, which is part of what's going to make these cookies so soft and chewy when they're baked, but it's definitely too soft to work with right now. Press some plastic wrap directly on the surface and let it hang out in the fridge for at least an hour until it firms up enough to be scooped. Now that the dough has firmed up, take a cookie scoop or a spoon to grab a portion of the dough and roll it between your hands into an oblong shape. This helps it spread better in the oven so the cookies wind up thicker in the middle instead of melting into pancakes. Cookie pancakes. Anyway, leave a few inches between each cookie because even so, they will spread a fair bit. Grab some sea salt, flaky if you have it, and bonus points if you happen to have smoked salt on hand. Sprinkle a pinch of salt over each cookie tower before baking in a preheated 375-degree Fahrenheit oven for about 8 to 13 minutes or until spread, a little puffy, and just starting to turn darker around the edges. Err on the side of underbaking these. You want them to be soft and chewy, and they will continue to bake a little bit after coming out of the oven. Let them cool on the baking sheet for 5 to 10 minutes before transferring to a wire rack to cool completely. And there you have it, the most delicious chocolate chip cookies I'll bet you've ever had, if I do say so myself, with a really unique and complex depth of flavor. But if a traditional chocolate chip cookie is really more your jam, you should check this video out. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time!